Well, tonight the community, from journalist to the governor, is responding to the passing of longtime local reporter and columnist Nick Coleman.
He's a wonderful guy. I played hockey with him back in both of our younger days, and I laughed at every column he wrote except the ones about me, and then I had to. But that's his job, and he is just great spirited and great public citizen, and it's very much regret his passing.
According to the Pioneer Press, Coleman died earlier today, 3 days after suffering a massive stroke. For more than 40 years, Nick Coleman worked as a journalist both at the Pioneer Press and Star Tribune. As KARE 11's Carla Holt reports, Coleman leaves a legacy of watchdog journalism.
An icon of the most gritty form of journalism, today himself the headline. Nick Coleman capitalized on his role as columnist and reporter to crack down on community wrongs, whether racism or what Mother Nature delivered in the form of floods. Nick was the son of state political royalty, his father a former Senate Majority Leader, his brother the former St. Paul mayor. But as documented in this powerful Pioneer Press obit, Nick served too. First as a reporter at the Minneapolis Tribune starting in 1973.
Bye, Diana.
Then in 1986, and as our cameras captured, he was off to a columnist job at the Pioneer Press, only to return for one more 6-year stint at the Strib in 2003. In a series of tweets, retired journalist David Brower writes, "Nick Coleman was the most exasperating media figure I ever covered." But Brower adds, "In the end, Nick Coleman should be remembered as a Minnesota patriot, a critical patriot who also once and ironically appeared on a TV game show."
This is Nick Coleman from Minneapolis, Minnesota, TV critic for a newspaper back there.
This was Nick's 129 seconds of, at least TV, fame.
Can I have a tea, please?
Well, not all that good.
He wouldn't win at the game, as he humbly later confided.
Performed disastrously.
But by all accounts, he won within the headlines, helping to raise the community he loved ever higher. Nick Coleman is survived by his wife, his 6 children, siblings, friends, and fans. The Pioneer Press reports his funeral service will be held at 11 a.m. on Friday at the Church of the Assumption in St. Paul. Back to you.